In this modern time, it is undeniable that humans have done great things. Even now, people work towards making sure humanity lasts, whether that is on Earth or among the stars. But, as something finite, as life that can end, we're never totally secure, on this planet or any other. There is always the threat of extinction. Whether that threat is tens of thousands of light years away or right here on Earth, we simply don't know how it's all going to end. This video has been made in collaboration with thingswedon'tknow.com, a science education company that aims to explain the questions that we don't know the answers to yet, encouraging an awareness of current scientific research and helping to identify what areas new discoveries could be made in. With their help, in this video we will be looking at the possible ending of humanity's story. A popular theory as to how humans could be wiped off the face of the Earth is from a meteor impact. It may surprise you to learn that around 25 million meteors enter the Earth's atmosphere every day. Nearly all of them always burn up, of course, but from that, about 1 million kilos of dust settles on Earth per day. Only a few a year out of these millions, though, are going to be of any harm, however, and NASA generally spots these early on, especially if it was one that could potentially wipe out all human life, and we would have sufficient warning. But if this situation did occur, and there was a massive asteroid coming to kill us all, what could we do? Well, NASA is currently working on a spacecraft designed to divert asteroids should one come too close. How big does an asteroid have to be then in order to cause serious damage to Earth? If an asteroid around half a mile wide smashed into Earth, that would cause some serious damage and probably set off many devastating earthquakes. But this wouldn't be life-ending for all species, and humans would survive this. The asteroid that could have killed the dinosaurs is estimated to have been around 8 miles wide, and if an asteroid that size were to once again hit Earth, billions would be killed. It's possible that there would be some human survivors, but the planet's resources would have been destroyed, meaning that the survivors wouldn't survive for long. But remember, even an asteroid the size of a house would probably be of little harm if it enters the atmosphere, as it would probably not dramatically hit a large populated city and could just land somewhere in the desert. Another wonderful suggestion as to how human life could end is a truly massive volcanic eruption. Again, the eruption of a volcano is not an uncommon thing, but a truly devastating eruption, thankfully, is. If a supervolcano erupted in the modern day, it has the potential to wipe out our entire species. There was a lot of volcanic activity at around the time of the dinosaurs went extinct, so it is entirely possible that this played a large part in the extinction. There are of course systems in place to give sufficient warning to any looming eruption, and there doesn't seem to be anything massive around the corner, as it is likely that we would spot it if it were to be particularly cataclysmic. Anything that would be so threatening would have to house a truly enormous magma chamber, and hopefully if there was one that large we'd have found it by now, but who knows, maybe there's one lurking around somewhere. Worryingly, a recent suggestion says that these chambers develop rapidly and erupt quickly, but hopefully this isn't true. The closest life has ever come to being completely wiped out was 252 million years ago, at a time called the Great Dying, and it was probably brought about by mass volcanic activity. It was so bad that it wiped out 96% of all marine life, and around 70% of the creatures on land. This was mainly due to the massive ash and dust that would be ejected into the atmosphere, which would stop plants being able to photosynthesize, creating complete havoc in the food chains. Climate change like we've never seen before will also sweep the planet, leaving most organisms in the dark and not able to adapt fast enough. This is a terrifying prospect to be sure, but not a likely one. At least it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Another possible scenario where we see the extinction of our species is GRB, or gamma ray bursts, hitting the planet. A GRB is the enormous amount of light energy emitted from a supernova. To give you an idea of how powerful a supernova is, it can be brighter than an entire galaxy, which is hundreds of billions of stars all beaming at once. And the power of a GRB? Well, a single gamma ray burst is far more powerful than all the energy the sun will emit during its entire lifetime. A gamma ray is just another type of light, but the frequency is a lot higher than visible light, the light we can see. Unfortunately, it has such a high frequency, it can tear through our DNA, causing havoc to the human body. So if an extremely powerful gamma ray burst hits Earth, not good. But if space is so vast, why hasn't one hit us yet? Well, it has. In fact, GRBs hit Earth around once a day. but they all come from different galaxies, so incredibly far away that the energy has fizzled out by the time they actually hit us, so they can no longer really harm us. This is partly thanks to our lovely ozone layer, which protects us from these gamma rays, but things would be much different if a GRB hit us from our own galaxy. If it was relatively close, it would just completely fry the side of the planet it hit, and the other side would probably not survive either, as the effects of the GRB are felt globally. If the GRB originated a few thousand light years away, then it could just obliterate the ozone layer. That also is a problem, because ozone doesn't just come back instantly, and the radiation from the sun that it usually protects us from will probably wipe out all life on Earth, not just humanity. So that's one way human life could end. There are of course a host of other ways that could spell the end for humanity. Many of them are man-made: nuclear war, a man-made virus that kills everyone, slow death from climate change, superpowered AI going rogue and destroying everything. There could also be a currently unknown to us natural disaster that hasn't happened yet but could in the future. Something that we could not be prepared for and didn't even think could happen, and then it would kill us all. Another situation that could come to pass is the power going out. It is possible, as I'm sure you've heard many times before, that we're all living in a simulation. It would be a shame if somebody spilled a drink on our computer or the simulation crashed. Just a thought. As we mentioned at the beginning, this video has been made with help from Things We Don't Know, a science education company based here in the UK. It is the goal of this organisation to create a place where all of the questions that science is still finding answers to can be collected, in order to help increase public awareness of them, and to aid researchers in finding topics that are currently being investigated. This place is the website thingswedon'tknow.com. Here you can find an easily accessible and extensive list of all the scientific mysteries and currently unanswered questions that are being worked on, with the links to the places that are studying them and references to relevant sites and publications. Things We Don't Know really says it best themselves. There are two distinct aspects to science: learning about what science has discovered and discovering new things. We feel that scientists tend to concentrate on explaining the things we already know and rarely explain the things that we don't. We are dedicated to explaining the questions to which science still seeks answers. I highly recommend that you go and have a look at their website if you haven't already. I'm sure you'll find something there that will interest you, since learning about the things we don't know and the research being done to discover the answers to them is one of the most exciting parts to science. There are so many different ways that human life could end, and it almost certainly is inevitable at some point. As we've discussed, this could happen at any second, or in a few billion years' time, we don't know. This was the final episode of our 6-part series, Things We Don't Know. We hope you enjoyed it. We really had fun making it, but yeah, this is it. For now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and want to see more from us, feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really does help us a lot. If you didn't like it for any reason, please leave a constructive comment and we'll try and improve for next time. I hope you enjoy the week ahead. It's going to be a big one for the channel.